Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thank you so much for joining me and welcome. So today's video I'm going to be doing a review on the new, well, not so new, Colourpop No Filter Concealer. This is what she looks like. So a little background, I've heard so many good things about this concealer. It's only $6 and I mean, what else is there to say? I'm excited to let you guys know my thoughts on this concealer. So if you guys would like to see my thoughts and see how I feel about it, please keep watching. Alright you guys, so I've already did my foundation off camera. I just actually finished doing it, so it's a little, just making sure there's no creases before we start. So like I said, this concealer retails for $6 and it is on the Colourpop website. If you're not familiar with Colourpop, Colourpop is a very good, affordable, just really good makeup brand. So whenever I'm buying online, I always go to YouTube. I go to a YouTube blogger or an influencer whose skin tone compares to mine. So Alyssa Ashley or Ida Sell, I kind of just go based off of that, or sometimes I just Google. For instance, I'll put in MAC NC45 because that's my shade, and then it'll give me kind of like a translation in like a whole bunch of different products and their numbers or their shade range. So yeah, that's typically how I find out what shade I am. This one, I will say, is a little dark for me, so I do find myself mixing it sometimes when I want a more dramatic kind of highlight. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the shade that I chose. I could have went a little bit lighter, so there's that. I am going to just show you guys the applicator. So this is what it looks like. I really like the applicator of this concealer. I really like this. It gives you a lot of control without having to put too much concealer on. I do find with my Age Rewind, I'm like squeezing and either not a lot comes out or too much comes out. So I gotta find a middle ground, but yeah. So I'm just going to apply this. So far I really like the coverage of this concealer. I find that that's very important, especially under eye concealer, because you know you want to conceal them under eye bags, honey. But it has a nice consistency. It's kind of thick, but it's not like too heavy or too uncomfortable. So yeah, cool with it. I am cool with it. So like I said, I feel like I can go one shade lower than this, just for a more highlighted look. But I'm not mad at this shade. Because you know I usually like to build up my concealers anyway. So I'll typically go in with a shade like this, and then I will go in and add something a little bit brighter, but not too like, nothing too bright. I just feel like I could have went a little bit lighter, but that's okay. So I'm not even gonna let this concealer sit because of how full coverage it is. Like with my LA Girl Pro Conceal, I kind of find that I have to let it sit to in order for me to get a little bit more coverage, but for this I don't need to do that. It's blending pretty nicely, and it's still keeping that coverage, which I really like. I hate when I'm blending out concealer and you can just, my sponge is just picking it back up. Like, I find like that's so pointless, and that's why with my LA Girl concealer I find that I have to let it dry down a little bit in order for me to get that full coverage. But honestly, I just put it on and I just started blending it out, and I'm still seeing that good coverage, so I'm very pleased with that. But I do like that it's blending out very well, not too like blotchy or anything. Everything just seems like it's just blending out seamlessly, so I'm here for it. So for my contour, I'm going to be taking my Black Opal Stick Foundation in the shade Nutmeg. I'm just going to blend that contour out. Make sure if you have a scarf that you push it back, because you want to make sure you're getting into those areas. One thing I like, I'm not seeing too much creasing underneath my eye, and I haven't even set it yet, so that is really good. A lot of times when I'm blending out my the rest of my face, I find that my concealer typically creases very fast, but most of the concealer is staying in place, and I haven't even set it yet. So like always, I'm just gonna run my beauty blender or my makeup sponge underneath my eyes before I set. You always want to do this to make sure you're not setting any creases. And just make sure everything is looking good and everything is well blended before we set it. Alright, so next I'm going to be taking my Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm just going to set that concealer just as I would any other concealer. Now I am going to bake today. I know I usually don't, but I am going to go in with a little bit of the Laura Mercier translucent powder because that concealer was a little bit darker and I kind of want to have that bright highlighted look. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that powder and let it sit underneath my eyes and in the center of my forehead, all the highlighted areas, because I do want that to kind of stand out. Whoa, be a little bit brighter. So I'm gonna let that sit for like not even that long, just until I finish my bottom lash line. Alright, so I wiped away that bake. Now I'm going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Palette and I'm just going to set my contoured areas. And I'm using this contour angled brush from a Ruby Kiss. Alright, so for my blush, I'm going to be taking Raisin from MAC Cosmetics. And for my highlight, I'm going to be taking the Anastasia Sun Dip Glow Kit. And I'm going to be taking the shade Bronze in Summer. We're going to use that to glow, baby. Alright, then I'm going to take a little bit of Fix Plus. And for my lips, I'm going to be taking my NYX liner in Brown. And then I'm going to be taking my Forever Matte Liquid Lipstick from Ruby Kiss. And this is in the shade Trust Me. And then in the center, I'm going to be taking the shade Angel Wings. You guys know I have to go in with a gloss, so I'm going to be taking my MAC Oyster Girl Lip Gloss. So I'm going to go do my hair and I'll be right back and I'll let you guys know my thoughts. So my thoughts on this concealer, I really like it. The only thing that I wish was that I got a lighter shade, just because I find that this is a little bit dark, but I mean, I can deal with it. I find that lately I have been mixing this concealer with my Age Rewind concealer because it is a little bit lighter, so they go hand in hand. They work really well together. I am, however, going to do a comparison video, so stay tuned for that. But other than that, I find that this is a really good price point for a concealer. It's cheaper than the Age Rewind concealer. I love the coverage that it gives, and it's, you know, full coverage, $6. Like, you can't beat that. So that is my thoughts on this concealer. It is a thumbs up for me. It is a yes for me, dog. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you tried this concealer, or if you have any other concealers that you guys would like me to try out. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.